This is raw liver, and this is a Liver King. And for the next 24 hours, I'm gonna be eating the animal-based diet. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the first meal of this meat and fruit diet, also known as an animal-based diet. What I am having for breakfast today is 4 eggs with just salt on them because pepper apparently is not allowed on the animal-based diet. And then a bowl of fruit here. We have around 365 grams of watermelon, 250 grams of strawberries, and then I also put 1 serving of honey on top of this. And then with the eggs, I actually cooked it in about a serving of butter as well. Now what you're thinking butter. I know, it just matter. Total calories for this meal right here are 670 calories. Overall macros are 28 grams of protein and 65 grams of carbs, 7 grams of fiber, and then 36 grams of fat. Go ahead and give these eggs a little bit of a taste test here, shall we? Tell you, there's nothing like a whole egg cooked in butter, a little fat on fat action. Now let's dive into what is known as the bodybuilder's candy, which is this fruit. Got a little piece of watermelon here. Let me tell you, fruit in and of itself is pretty sweet, but also add some honey in there. I mean, is this fruit or dessert? I will say the one thing I'm kind of worried about, because I'm trying to have around 2,500 calories, the one thing I am worried about when eating like a meat and fruit diet is that you want to get higher fatty meats and higher fatty animal-based products in general. So instead of eating like egg whites, you want to have the whole egg. But then you're doing things like cooking it in butter, and that can add your calories up quite quickly. So I'm a little worried that I'm going to be eating too many calories too quick and then not just feeling full and satiated, because the hardest thing about getting lean and dieting is trying to stay full. So I'm trying to see, does this diet kind of support that? But then it's kind of where the fruit comes in, because like this in and of itself is less than like 200 calories. So it does kind of balance it out a little bit. However, we're gonna find out later as this day goes on. I did in fact also get in touch with my ancestors this morning. As I got up, first thing I did was actually go and get some sun. Although there wasn't really much sun because it's kind of a gloomy day. However, you just really want to get outside in the morning. And that's exactly what I did. That is actually something that you see Liver King preach, Paul Saladino preach. They're doing it more of like an ancestral thing. However, something that Andrew Huberman also preaches is the first thing you do in the morning is to get up, go and make a beeline for some sunlight. Even if it's gloomy, you're still getting those rays coming through the clouds, and it makes a huge difference in the energy, mood, your ability to fall asleep at night. So I'm a big advocate of the first thing of the morning, use the restroom, do what you gotta do, and then get to some sunlight as fast as possible. If you haven't given that a shot, try it out. Anyways, this is meal number 1 right here, and we'll see you guys as the day rolls on, part of this meat and fruit experiment. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the next meal of the day. What we have is 4 burgers with butter on top of it. This is 85-15 ground beef. I just pretty much used the whole pound, cooked it. When it shrinks down, it loses around 2 ounces, so it's around 14 ounces of 85-15. I have a serving of butter as well. And then in this bowl here, I have 2 servings of mango, or 280 grams. It's just the frozen mango. Put it in there, let it defrost. After this meal, the total calories are 1770. Overall macros after this meal are 103 grams of protein, 107 grams of carbs, 11 grams of fiber, and then 108 grams of fat. I'll have to admit, that first meal actually kept me full for quite some time. It's been like almost 5 hours. Let's give this burger a taste test though, shall we? I had 85-15 ground beef in my last video. And like I said in that video, if you've been dieting using like 96.4 ground beef, 90-10, even like 93.7, then you go to like an 85-15, man, it's like so different as far as how good this tastes because of the extra fat content. If you can fit in your calories, I mean, I recommend it. Gonna superset in some mango here. Mango is literally my favorite fruit. It's so good. This whole animal-based diet, I can honestly get kind of used to it. I can back this diet up. Unlike, keto or paleo or vegan, this is the opposite of vegan. Of all the different diets I've tried on this channel, vegan is probably the worst and least enjoyable way of eating by far. And to think some people choose that life, it's like, what? The only thing that I am missing from this diet that I'm gonna try and find today is some liver. I know there are a ton of benefits to eating liver. I'm gonna try my best to eat like an ounce of it raw. That is gonna be by far the weirdest thing I've probably ever consumed.
but I have to try and find some good liver. I don't want to go to the store and just pick up any liver and eat it raw and then end up getting sick. So that I will try later today. Anyways, I'm gonna finish this. This is meal number 2. So far, so good, but I will keep you guys updated as the day rolls on. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we found it. Here it is. This is liver. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I can eat this raw. This is a little intimidating. I'm gonna try an ounce of this raw. I think all you need for a serving of liver is only around 1 to 3 ounces. You really don't need anything more than that from what I've seen. I'm extremely nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna attempt to actually cook this. I've never cooked liver before ever, but an ounce of it, I'm gonna try raw. I think I'm gonna put some salt and honey on it because that's what I heard is like the easiest way to take it down. But as far as eating this on its own, I don't know if I can do it, dude. It's pretty intimidating. I've been able to put down some meat in my time, but this is too much. I have almost zero idea what I'm doing when it comes to actually cooking the liver. I heard just a quick sear on each side is really all you need. I am gonna lubricate this pan first with a little bit of butter on there, and we're kind of just gonna wing it. I've seen people like freeze these into almost little chunks, and they'll swallow them like a pill. And that's kind of how they take down their raw liver. As for myself, I'm gonna be a normal human being and cook it. And I think this is actually gonna be a pretty quick cook because it's super thin and it's actually super lean as well. From what I see, usually all the white marbling you see in meat is usually all the fat, and I don't really see too much of that here. So we're gonna try and cook this. Listen, I need to focus. I'm gonna attempt to cook this. I will see you guys as soon as I'm done with this. Okay, I have here 1 ounce of raw liver, straight up, and 2 ounces in this one of the actual liver that is cooked. I've cut this into 2 pieces, right? This is kind of 1 piece right here. It's a little bit of a bigger piece, obviously. And then I have a small bite-sized piece right here. This is what I'm gonna be trying out. Now, I also have some honey and some salt. So on the bigger piece, I'm gonna put a little bit of honey, a little bit of salt, because I heard that's a really good way of actually eating it raw and making it kind of enjoyable. This, I'm gonna try and eat this straight up, man. The f***ing primal way. Okay, it doesn't smell like anything. Yeah, it doesn't really have a smell to it. But I'm gonna just stop being a Come on. No. Oh. Oh. Ew. Oh. I just took a bite. I took a little bite. It's like, it's slimy and like gross. Oh gosh. I gotta try a smaller bite. Ugh. Oh. Okay, that's horrible. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna need to load this up. Put the honey. I'm gonna try this with some honey on it. Wow. And some salt. Oh my gosh. It's like super irony. Ugh. Honey and salt on this. Okay. Okay. I did it. Wow. The honey and salt makes a huge difference. A really big difference. That was like 10 times easier with the honey and salt. We're gonna try this cooked now. I mean, cooked is a little bit better, but it's not super appetizing, to be honest with you. How the f does Liver King do this every day? Yeah, the salt makes a big difference. Apparently though, liver is actually super nutrient dense. Like this is apparently a superfood, like a real life superfood. The idea of eating this raw is just, this isn't fun. With the honey and salt, it's almost easier to eat it raw because it goes down smoother. This is tough. I'm gonna tell you something. I was kind of hungry right now, but I lost all appetite after this. It's weird, like I want to stop eating this. At the same time, I don't. If I were to ever eat liver again, I think I would just eat it raw like this with honey and salt, because that was almost easier to do than eating it cooked, because eating it cooked it's just, I don't even know how to explain it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the kitchen. Here we are cooking one of my favorite things to cook of all time, and that is a steak. I have here this lovely Angus grass-fed beef New York strip, and I'm gonna show you how to cook this, because what inspired this video was that Alex Eubank attempted to do the meat and fruit diet, and he didn't know how to really cook a steak, which is just absolute blasphemous. If you're a man, you gotta know how to cook a steak, and a good one at that. Now, if you're gonna do this in kind of a primal way, the animal diet style, a couple of things you're gonna need. You'll need the steak, obviously. You have some butter and salt, and that's pretty much it. If I wasn't cooking this to fit the animal diet lifestyle, I would probably add some garlic, rosemary, thyme, salt and pepper, as well as olive oil and butter. But this will do for now. Step number one into cooking a good steak is that you need to let this get to room temperature. I had this sitting out for the last hour or so. The reason why is because if it's still cold on the inside, you're gonna get that crust going on the outside, but it's not gonna cook all the way through well enough. And it's just not an ideal situation. So first things first is to let this get down to room temperature. The second thing you're gonna do is to get this pan nice and hot. I am cooking this steak on a high heat. When it comes to cooking steaks, you wanna cook them on a high heat, cook them as fast as possible, get a nice crust on there, and when you put that steak down on that pan, you should hear a sound. If you don't hear that sound, take it off, let the pan get nice and hot. Gonna get some salt on the steak. I'm also gonna lubricate my pan with about a tablespoon of butter. And that's really all you need for this. Butter on the pan. Now, I'm also gonna teach you a bit of safety as well. When you lay this steak down, lay it away from you. You don't wanna lay it towards you, get all that juices to come up and smack you in the face and then burn you. It's not a fun situation. Lay the steak away. All right, this pan is pretty much hot enough. Gonna grab this steak. Make sure when I lay it down, I hear the sizzle. If not, I'm gonna lift it back up and start over, but it should be hot enough. Oh yeah. You hear that sizzle? That's what you want. Now, I am more of like a medium to medium rare type of guy, so that means I'm cooking the steak relatively 3 to 4 minutes each side, and in about 1 minute, I'm gonna render this fat on the steak as well. So I'm gonna turn it over, render down that fat. But as for now, I'm gonna let the steak cook in between 3 to 4 minutes each side. If Alex Eubank ever watches this video, take some notes. All right, for about another minute, I kind of turn the steak on its side because that's where the fat is. I'm letting that kind of cook and render down as well. You wanna try and get as much flavor out of the steak as possible, okay? Listen, they don't call me the handsome, fit version of Gordon Ramsay for nothing. You got about a minute left of the steak cooking. Okay, one of the last and final steps is to actually baste it. So let all the juices from the pan come down by tilting it, and then take a spoon and grab that flavor and drip it all over the steak. Last and final thing is you're gonna set this down, and I know you want to start eating it right away. Trust me, I do too. However, what you need to do is actually let this rest. Let all that flavor soak into that steak. Usually the general rule of thumb is for however long you cooked it for, that's how long you should let it rest. So I'm gonna let it rest for about 6 minutes and then dig in. Alrighty, with this steak all sliced and diced, I'm gonna add just a little bit of pink salt on top right here. And let's give this a little bit of a taste test. This is about a medium rare steak. And it is absolutely fantastic. I like to have my steaks between medium to medium rare. Obviously, raw, as you saw earlier, is just not my thing. Now, this is about a 12-ounce steak. So after this is consumed, total calories for the day are around 2764. Overall macros are 190 grams of protein, 110 grams of carbs. We have 11 grams of fiber, and then 176 grams of fat. Now, my maintenance calories are right around 3,000 calories, so 2,700 calories is not too bad in terms of a deficit. Ideally, I overshot my target, which is around 25. I could eat less of the steak and hit 2,500 calories. However, I want to be able to still feel full and satiated. And I feel with like the amount of fat that I've had today and trying to get my carbs only from fruit, it's a bit difficult to find that balance. I feel like I'm naturally gonna have higher fat content. And what inspired me to do this video is that I saw Alex Eubank giving this a shot, and he was gonna try it for a whole month, get his blood work done, see the before and after, and see how his body responds. And a little spoiler alert, he's already failed because truthfully, you know, going all animal based and not having some things like rice, bread, certain desserts, it's a little difficult to always adhere to that. And so my personal opinion, I do like this style of eating, but maybe for like 1 to 2 meals out the day, and then you could also have your normal things as well. I think you can learn a little bit from each different nutritional style. I think it's when you go to like these extreme notions where it's only animal-based foods, or it's only keto, or it's only vegan. That's where it makes dieting, trying to get lean, trying to get into shape and stay in shape a bit difficult because you have so many restrictions. In my opinion, calories in versus calories out. Eat high-quality foods. You know, incorporate some vegetables, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Eat your fruits, eat your meats. Balance is really the key, and that's my personal opinion. This steak is also delicious as well, though. Anyways, I'm gonna eat this. I'm wrapping the video up here. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. It's been your boy Joe. Peace.